can start this out in 50% speed. So Magic is gone for the majority of this beginning half here, at least until that first goal or so. So I'm not going to cover a whole lot of replay beforehand. I'll just say that Ghost does a good job getting here. That guy is a good blocker though. Made a nice backwards touch. Ghost is doing a good job retrieving the safety because that guy's going to probably beat him. And by the time we all get back into our side, Magic coming back causes a little bit of chaos because I'm caught out in rotation. I'm used to playing 2s at this point in the game. And so I just kind of sit there. I sit there and it goes in. Because if I were to take any other path, I would have ran into Magic. Or Ghost, nothing out of the way. But, so you'll notice for a lot of this game, this was the game I was referring to when they're executing my ideal kickoff in 3's and 2's also, but in 3's my ideal kickoff would be here that excuse me, would be for me to go for kickoff, obviously, because I'm here, and then Ghost would cheat up, and Magic would go for boost. When you cheat up, you have a range from about here, and the range you should cover cheating up should not extend. In a safe cheat is like that pad to that pad, nice little triangle for you to cheat up in. Maybe if still pretty safe, but a little more adventurous cheat for if you think that, or if you see the game developing in a way where kickoffs keep going a certain way, then you can sort of do a little more aggressive cheat, which will take you no further, absolutely no further than this pad, and no further than about 2.5 of these rectangles in front of that pad right there. So you're going to want to cheat up in a safe cheat, again, either to that pad or a little bit past it, at a maximum of that pad, and no more than 2 to 2.5 rectangles in front of that pad right there. And that's a good cheat. Magic's range of coverage will be however he decides to play it. He can go back in this situation and just sort of like sit in that, sort of like reverse his car in a way where it picks up the pad and then he's in that. Better play though, probably just to like power cut and then flip into, we'll grab this pad that's a little out of the way though, but you can manage it if you really just sort of nick the corner of the pad instead of like going all the way out, grab it and go in, and just sort of like power cut a bit, try and nab the edge of the pad instead of all the way over it, and then come to the corner. And that way you'll have coverage for the left side of the field. Now, this play will develop pretty fast, so by the time Magic you are right about at this pad, if you choose to go for boost, maybe at this white line, that ball is already going to be made contact and the play will be developing, and should be able to determine how things go from here. So an overall safe play though is I kick off, Ghost goes for the safe cheat, Magic goes out for boost here, and never turn inward. There was a point in this play, I think it was earlier or it might be later in the game when I was reviewing it the other day, where you'll see why not to do it, but Ghostly, he comes in here and he goes in for boost and then he cuts out, and then the ball goes past him on the wall here and he has to cut back in again. He does like a little loop-de-loop and we get scored on. You can go out, boost, back to goal. It's better that you do it that way, more than likely, depending on how the play develops, but it's better for safety's sake, that you turn immediately towards the net. Because if the ball's coming at our net, like if it punches out to the over here, and you have coverage of the left side, then let's say the ball rolls up, and this guy or that guy, you know, it really depends on who gets there, but somebody's probably going to get here first. We'll Ghost is cheating up to the right side, and I'm kicking off. This guy gets the ball, comes up the wall, smacks it, and then, you know, by the time you're grabbing here, that's already developed pretty much, and you're sort of turning and cutting this way. So if he sees how you turn, you're turning outward, he can put it behind you on the wall and roll it past you. Also, if you turn outward, you're a little too far here to sort of like cut in and then like up the wall and save it. You can, it'll be a lot harder though. Then if this guy just goes for a boom straight on net, you're already cutting and turning towards goal here. You're already ready to go when you get the boost straight up the back wall, and then or you know, straight across net to save it. You know, that power hit, if he's a really good player, is going to be really, really coming fast and on target. And if you are turning outward first and then inward, you're not getting that ball. If you're turning outward, you're all the way out here versus in this corner. And like, just look at the linear path that will take. Say he hits this like dead center, like right here under the crossbar, and you're at this, like, look at from where you'd be turning in, you'd be in this corner. The linear path is longer from here to save it here, probably not going to make it, than it is from here if you have to do a diving save across to hit it here. You know, it's a shorter distance from that line on the wall than it is from that to there. You always want to be safely turning in, unless you see the play develop in another way. That's the safe way, that's the good rotation way to do it. But we'll sort of see how things go as we cover what's happening. So you'll see these guys actually do my ideal kickoff, I believe, on this very kickoff, and what we do differently. I'm going to show you these guys' perspective. So this guy's turning out for boost. He's going to do exactly what I said. He's going to go in for that. He picks up the corner of that pad, just the very nick of it. So we already know that guy's kicking off. This guy's cheating. He gets a good little wave dash up front, not wasting any boost. He's conserving his 12. He's going to pick up this pad, and he's going to have 24. It's more than enough to make speed in any direction to get going to cover it. I'm not going to say Magic, my bad. I meant to say this guy and me kicking off now. He's grabbed the corner of this pad. He's nicked it. He's coming in the corner. He's going to grab his boost, and I believe his rotation is right. Oh no, he goes out because he sees the ball, punches out. So yeah, if you have ball cam on, which you should only take it off for a split second to aim your car in the direction of the boost and then flip it back on so you can be seeing where you're going. All you gotta do is drive straight, pick up the thing, and keep going. So he probably sees that, and it's headed towards our side now. So instead of grabbing the boost and turning back, he has the option to make a split second decision to go up and follow, which is good. Now he's got, you know, direction, momentum headed in the right way. This guy's got the close cheat up. And Magic, well, over on our side, I would have preferred Ghost, again, cheat up, and you get boost. You do have a good rotation inward though, because the ball's coming at our net, so you got the right idea, at least turning in after you pick it up. But he should have pushed up. And it doesn't necessarily matter who cheats, but the ideal cheater should be the one who's closest to the person kicking off, in any case at all. So like whoever's closest to the ball or the kickoff. So if we have, like, you know, U center and then two diagonal spawns, then one of the diagonal spawners gonna go get the middle boost. Your cringe, beige. So anyways, I'm gonna keep going here, see how that goes. And see why it would have been better for Ghost to have the coverage if he had the range I was talking about. If he had gone out to this pad, then he would have been ready to turn, catch this boost up the wall, go after it that way. Magic would have been in that while you guys covered me coming back. So, you see how it plays out from here. Ghost should be pushing out, he does. But then, the way his position has it sort of awkward now, because the way I was rotating back, it just looked like Ghost was sort of sitting, and that maybe I should go up the wall after it. I probably could have made a better decision. I should have, honestly. But, Ghost, if you were going the way that rotation-wise should have been, pushing out, and you caught the pad here, you went back. You might not have been able to grab the back boost before this guy got it, but you could have had the challenge, like, you would have come out, grabbed the pad, turned, boosted, grabbed the pad, more than enough time to get up and challenge that up the side of the wall here. And yeah, you might have had to leave that, and then I could have like rotated in, but at least it wouldn't be a little clobbered mess. One of us is probably going to bump each other here, or at the very least I cut you off and then made you slower to get to it. Made a good challenge nonetheless. And then rotation should have been that I come out and backboard, and Magic could have pushed that ball after you had made the 50 on the corner here. But this is how things are developing now, so I got the 50, it's coming across. Ghost, you should be rotating back post here. Back post, because Magic is way closer to the ball than you. As far as momentum goes, you trying to catch up to it and it going this fast is not as, not going to get you as close, as fast, as efficiently as Magic being here and just shadowing underneath the ball. So you should be coming through here, grabbing this pad for a little extra boost as soon as you turned away from that corner, and then cut it in, waiting in net. And I could be probably taking out Apollo when he comes across, so that way he doesn't cause any disruptions or issues. If you guys would have been prepared, I would have been killing him. And by the time I killed him, or at least attempted to bump or something, I could have grabbed some pads and rotated him behind you. So we'll just see how that goes from here. I go all the way across the net because it looks like you were going this way. Trying to wait for Apollo to come through. He doesn't. I think I took my eyes off of him, honestly. I think I mistakenly took my eyes off of him and thought he was going to bump me, so I think I pushed in a way that I shouldn't have. Pushing across the net here doesn't do really anybody a lot of good. So now I make kind of like an awkward rotation back because I don't know, forethought that I was going to get bumped. Best I can do now is come in and try and rotate behind you, but I think I tried to go backboard here because it looks like that ball's going over your head, and I think the only way that I thought I could save it was going backboard. But I accidentally hit the wall like an idiot and flew off instead. So, anyways. I should have called I had that because I think I was the best one prepared for it. I know that it looked like I flew off the wall, and Ghost was trying to be a good teammate here and cover for me flying off the wall. But I should have called I had that. If I didn't, I don't recall whether I did or didn't. He hit it anyway, so that's good. I think I ended up bailing after I heard his car jump. I'm pretty sure I stopped boosting. Yeah, I heard his car jump, and so just like let it go. I know it looks like I held onto it a little longer, but split seconds in slow-mo seemed like forever, so. Magic's in a good spot. I've fucked myself. We're kind of scrambling here. This is really not good rotation going on, because now we're all going to be bunched up in one half. Our entire right half is entirely free. If this guy is able to, if he was, a better player, then he floor pinched it or smacked it across. This Camelot guy was slightly turned in a better direction. That's just a free goal. He could smack that all the way across the field, Camelot, tuck it in the right corner, and none of us would be back. Both these cars are facing entirely away from it, and mine is all the way upfield, so keep in mind, you gotta watch where each other are and make good call-outs. I have to work on my communication, so I gotta make call-outs myself. Alright, let's see how we recover from this, though. I don't know what that guy's doing or not, honestly. But now we're all kind of coming back. I'm rotating the post here, so that way I can come across goal line faster. Ghostly is taking a path outward. I'm just getting bumped. out of the way, so he has really no choice but to follow the ball. I'm going to kind of follow it left in case he passes it to me. He should have passed it to me. He should have left it right there. He did not have a good cut. Ghost is in a good position. He rotated back for safety. But Magic should have just left that ball for me right here, because it would have been better for me to, because watch what happens here. If Magic left me that ball and I had the pinch or the touch, Kamalad actually overcommits. He turns up, instead of being parallel to the line here, you'll see he cuts in ever so slightly, and that moment right there is when I was going to be able to hit it. This is when Magic decided to flip, and the moment that Kamalad cut in is when I was about to hit it. He would not have turned and boosted back in time in order to hit this into net. I would have had that all day, free goal. Maybe Broad would have been able to save it, depending on how much boost he had, if he caught up and then boosted, but it would have been a difficult save. So now I'm kind of like caught a little odd here because I have to chase it down in order to make 50, although Magic recovers. I didn't think that he would. I didn't think his flip was going to recover him, or that he was going to go after the ball again. I kind of thought that Kamalad might beat him, so I was trying to keep it safe and play the coverage there. But it could have been a lot more efficient. It could have been that Magic passed it, caught some pads, rotated in, Ghost out for boost, and then when I banged it, if it was saved, it most likely would have been a backboard save, bounce out into the middle probably, and Ghost could have been prepared to cut up middle and then receive it up here. So, you do win the, what is it, the 50 here is a good boom out. I'm just gonna cut over here for mid boost, and honestly what should happen is, since it's headed their direction at this point, the moment that you beat them and touch it, honestly Ghost should be just rocketing out of the net, and I should be more than likely either collecting from pads, or what I'm doing here is trying to collect mid boost. I think the actual play that should have happened is Ghost should have pushed up as soon as it was touched, and then I should have cut back and grabbed the boost and then rotated in. But I think I ended up grabbing boost and then sort of following Magic up. There is the option to do a sort of like the aggression 3-man's play, where now that it's hit, Ghost can push up to midfield and be ready to receive midfield and just kind of sit comfortably here, and then I can, collect and follow the play. I would be left side faster. Like it depends on like how we want to play this play style. The safer way is the first way that I said, but if we're going to play the aggro way, which is how I tend to play, which is kind of like what the meta is, which is 2-man push, 1-man gap filler, then Ghost should have still pushed up pretty immediately, at least up to this pad. Grab 1, grab 2, and he would have had sufficient boost. I would have come over here, grabbed this mid, and then Magic hits to the corner, and then we'll just see how it kind of develops from there. I believe that it didn't go for the boost. I don't know why. Maybe I was trying to catch that guy before he got back. I don't know. Yeah, it was not a great rotation by me. Magic chased it to the wall here. This guy had you beat, though. Yeah, he had you beat. It was way too close to him for you to beat him to that. This jumping off the wall at this point where the ball is so close to him, not a great idea. The play to make, like I know that pays off sometimes, but the play to make, the safe play, the efficient play, would have been, now that the ball is so close to him, if he was, a better player and he cut up quicker, he would have hit that faster. But where he didn't, the better play, now that you're here, would have been to go up and try and like come off the ceiling, because by the time it's up here, you're already meeting it, and then you're off the ceiling. You could have made a play on it if you were able. You could have at least tried, at least spent in his face. And then I don't really know why. I went up for it. I should have been keeping an eye on you to see where you were, and then just sort of like peeled back a little. But or at least, if I knew Ghost was behind me, Magic would challenge the ball. I could have gone for the demo, and then that could have paid off with Ghost rotating in. Let's see here. Ghost, you are the last person back, and you see me and Magic pushed up. This is something you should never, ever, ever do. Nobody should ever do as third man. Especially with, so you got somebody on the goal line right there, somebody's still up after it, and somebody's in front of you off to the right. Now, as your player view, you can see all these people right now. And because you can see all these people, you should know that somebody is closer to the ball than you. You're more than likely not going to get a touch. I know it looks like he screws up his touch here, but that guy, Kamalad, being in front of you, he's going to get there quicker. He's going to beat you to that play. And he does beat you to this play. And it looks like down the bottom corner, as you can see, like the orange markers of the orange team scoring goal. It looks like it pays off in a goal for them. If me and Magic caught up as third man, you should have pulled back a little bit or pushed back a little bit, whatever got you out of the box that you're in right now, the front of their net. You should have covered the just-in-case counterattack, which they are, I believe, about to get. Because now that Kamalad beat you to that, Broad's taking control here. I don't know why I just did that. What did I do? Broad's taking control. I think I get bumped by Apollo, or at least he's chasing me anyways. I do get a 50 on it, but I could have easily just gotten cleared and Broad would have had a free goal. So let's look at our rotations back now. I was forced to make the 50. One of you guys, like Magic, this is a good cut, because then Ghost is grabbing the boost and he should be back in no less time than the ball is taking to come our way. Like, he's at ball level right now, and Broad's on the ground, and he's on the ground. So he has no contact yet, so he should have had enough time to grab this boost and push forward, and you did the right thing cutting. I think I didn't know that you were cutting. I'm used to you going really, Magic with your rotations. I'm used to you going really, 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 really far back rotations. So that's one thing you gotta work on slightly, along with communication. I should have communicated my thought process at the very least, saying that I was turning back up for it again, so then you could have called me off. And it's fine if you call me off. We can build the trust there. If you got a better situation, you need to call me off, do that. And I'll do the same for you. Even if I'm calling something out and you know for a fact you have a better touch, a better play to make, go ahead, call it out. I'll oblige. And I would just expect that as a team we build the respect and communication to do that with each other. If you're not confident you have something, call out a maybe, call out an attempt, but call it out quick. Call it as quick as possible. Call out, going, attempt, me, if you're unsure but you're going to make a challenge, call and challenge something, just call something efficient, effective, and quickly. I needed to know that you were cutting up here because of how used to I am of your deep rotations. And I'm not used to you cutting like that, so I'm out of play now, because I felt like I was forced to go up here. And this is, in general, a bad rotation for me to make, but it was kind of the only one we had available, or they were just going to have a whole lot of time if you were doing, which I thought you were doing, but, you weren't. They would have had a lot of time if you deep cut back, and then I was also deep cutting back, so I thought I had to make the play, and I clearly didn't, because you had it covered. So I'm in kind of a bad spot where I shouldn't be. But I make the follow. You do a great job pulling off and seeing it develop, waiting for it. At this point, Magic, you are closer to it, and not closer than these guys, but you look like you may be more capable of turning and jumping than Ghost. I'm not entirely sure. Honestly, I think that Ghost, where you see, I think definitely in solo queue, if you see somebody in front of you and they look like they're in the box or ready to hit it, you really gotta not go for this ball. You gotta kind of like sit out and cover this range because that's most likely where it's gonna come. The ball's coming across the net here. You've got to be ready for it on the left. Somebody's in front of you. You know, I know it may not be the play style you enjoy, that you like, but you gotta do the trust, the patience, the waiting game. Let whoever's in front of you make the play or peel off the play, and then decide what to do from there. And so Magic does go for this. Ghost, you're also up. So this is very bad. Again, third man. If you're third man, you should never be doing this. Magic is close enough, and the ball is developing enough above the net for Magic to, if you did really want to make the shot, you called him off, and you were like me, like way ahead of time because you were like approaching from way back here. You had plenty of time from way back here, pushing up to, you know, the side, sort of like at least see in the corner that was being hit while you were somewhere back like here, I think. You get enough time to develop and make a decision that I'm committing to this. I'm all the way up here now. You know, in your mind, somewhere between here and the ball was plenty of time while you were already decided that you were committing, pushing forward, to say, hey, attempting, or I got it, you know. And then Magic had plenty of time where it was just a little single jump at this point, or even he wasn't even jumping by the time you should have been able to call it out, to grab a pad, peel off, and be ready for defense. Just better call-outs, better rotations here. Now we have nobody defending our net. Neither one of you hit the ball? Yeah, neither one of you hit the ball. And then, obviously, that is a goal for them. It shows it right down in the corner. It's a free interception. They're going to take that ball and run with it. They don't even have to boom it away here. When you have time and space like that, you get the control, and then, yeah, out of luck. Honestly, I was back in time, so we're going to cover my mistake and see why this ends up being a goal when I was back in time. Because I was back here, and I did see that it was going up the wall. Honestly, this guy should have been a better player and just kind of drove and caught it. I do believe he had the angle to do that. Yeah, he had the angle to do that.
You're cringe.
Your fucking mom's cringe. This is why you're bad at the game, bitch. Just kidding, love you, Beeb. Okay, they asked me for help. I'm doing my part. Yeah, if this guy caught it and he did catch it, he should have been able to catch it and drive it forward instead of driving up the wall here. Don't know why he did that, but he wouldn't have even had the issue of meeting us in the middle, I don't think. Maybe me, but at least he would have had it on his head ready for a flick or a pop if he saw it on the side. So I am back in time. I turned and jumped like in too tight of an angle. I should have just kind of waited to the last moment back to net and then made the play either jumping straight if he hit it where he is. No, he's hitting it in a back corner. But still, I would have been able to make that save. I just jumped entirely wrong. It's a misplay. We could have had that save. I didn't have that save. That's something I gotta work on. This is the type of situation where, again, it doesn't really matter who calls out the cheat, just somebody has to call it out, and one of you has to adjust accordingly. Magic is closer to the ball than you are, Ghost, so if you don't want to call it out, then just kind of wait back. This is like a risky sort of kickoff. No matter how you really play it, it doesn't matter a hell of a lot. You are already in position to defend. Might as well just stay there, though, in case, you know, they do the weird one-off double pinch that people do, and then it shoots back into the net, and you're already there. I probably would stay just right where you are, reverse back into this pad, and wait and see how it develops from there. Then, you know, Magic can cheat up and, or you can cheat out, Magic can backflip into the boost. It doesn't really matter, again, as long as somebody has it covered. Yeah, Magic backs off though, so one of you's got to be pushing up for that. I mean, luckily their other guy pushes out for boost, but they still have the middle guy cheating, so they probably called that out. I believe they were part of that. And, you know, that's fine. He's still going to get there in time for it to make a bigger difference if it would have pushed out middle. I was able to pinch it toward Magic. He should have had plenty of time to meet this before that guy, and he does. Good. Almost gets the goal. Bounces off the crossbar. So, that wasn't too bad. Could have been better. If one of us decided to cheat up, but it still ended up being okay. Really, it's all like a preference thing. If you guys would rather be the cheater than non-cheater, just, again, you gotta call it out. I don't have a preference of what you do either way, as long as somebody's making the time and space to be where I need them to be. So, I'm gonna watch my kickoff real quick. I come across this field. At this point of Magic hitting it, I should have either been turning up the wall this way, or grabbing pads and coming back to net, and Ghost probably pushing out. But again, Magic almost already scores. The guy gets the save. I should have just made a better cut one way or the other, made a decision which way to go. I didn't make one in time. I should have decided to go left and call it, or right and call it, and I ended up cutting off Ghost. So, my mistake. Second man position there. Did I get the save? I think. Okay, this is way closer to me, I think. And Magic has, if he has ball cam on, which I'm not sure if he does. Why can't I view? There we go. Done. Went right by him. Nice. So he does have ball cam on. So that's going to bounce out from his point of view here into the middle. That little jump you heard before yours was my car. Yeah, that little, that was me getting ready for it. And I should have called that, because I'm pretty sure I had the better angle on that. You were coming more of a lateral cross. I was coming more of a straight up. This guy was turned back. He wasn't going to get to it before I did. This guy was about as far away as I am from the ball, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I think if you had cut a little harder sooner, then you would have had the better position. Like if you just went, instead of turning out here, if you had gone up to this pad and just trusted that, you know, somebody was behind you. Again, I could have called out, should have called out if I didn't, that I was behind you waiting. The quicker, more efficient play would have been to come for the ball the way that is reading, the way that arced. You got to work on the reads. I mean, I do too, but to see that your car would have been positioned a lot better to just shoot across here and be ready for the bounce. And then, you know, you got a little jump, pop, and push it in. Ghost is good on the pickup. Good quick follow-up. Again, though, little dangerous. Not as bad. Where Magic's already ready to rotate out as it's bouncing. Still probably a little too ambitious being where you are, because that Kamalad there is in the net, and then Magic, you really got to be rotating back. You're the last guy back at this point. Ghost is pushed. I have committed with you, and then, you know, I know that he should have slightly waited, you know, at least a second more, but you got to be pushing up and grabbing this pad right here and ready to be turning either this way, so that way you can cut pad net, or be grabbing pad boosts up the wall. But you did make a better decision to come away from that Camelot guy. Had you turned up the wall, you probably would have ended up going for a demo on you. Still a little bit straighter across would have got you in position quicker. So a little more up, grabbing pads, and then you could have turned and been here for it. I ended up picking up the demo on the guy because I think that was how I saw it was going to be the safer bet, is if I just took somebody out of the play, because I'm pretty sure they were all going to get there before I got back and before anybody got back, so I just ended up going for kill here. But you could have been here, here, and turned up for it before, if not with Camelot beating him here, making another play on the ball. And Ghost, let's see how you got back. Ghost goes for his touch, comes out, rotates in. Again, with the rotation things, it's small differences, small corrections to make, but I'm already challenging Ghost. Magic's already in a ready position for the ball to come past me, or for me to punch it out. Your objective, rotating out from their goal right here, should be to come out of net and make sure this guy doesn't have his boost. I think it pops up before. Oh no, wait. You did a good job at least coming out of the net there. That was a weird launch to make. You recovered well from it though. But yeah, you could, if you're a little dry, at least for the sake of getting back quick, grabbed a little arc here of pads and then rotated him behind Magic pushing out, had him push forward, and then I was ready to rotate out and do the same. So honestly, I should have backed off that ball. Yeah, as soon as that was a terrible turn. As soon as I got out here, I should have just like gone back, and Magic could have been pushing in by then, and then Ghost could have been pushing behind him, and then I could have gone back for boost and been ready for the follow-up. So, you know, again, we got to work on our knowing when to cut rotation, when to go deep, when to call out. Call outs at all times will help with the. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I just did there, honestly. Got the save somehow, but barely. Oh, I got the double save. Okay. Good effort. Now, Magic's pushing up. Camelot's ready to receive the ball here, and I've already pushed up. You shouldn't be going out turned out like this, because there's a very high probability that he can just catch that, dunk it off the ceiling, and then, you know, somebody, whoever's here, looked like if Apollo wasn't avoiding me, he could have been over here in time to receive the middle, and if nothing else, Broad is, well, he is actually, he's turning up the middle for it, and he did get a shot on because of it, so yeah, you could have been there, but now that's a double commit scramble, and two of you are out of position. Now Magic is really turned far awkward away from the ball, so Ghost, you got to be the one to call out that you have this. Magic, you just got to worry about getting yourself repositioned as soon as possible without coming out of the net / in Ghost's path of recovery here. Ghost has to call that he has this. There's absolutely no way you should be going for this at all. You're way too awkward and probably way too low boost to try and make a jump. And even if you had enough boost to make a jump, it would waste an unnecessary amount. You'd have to risk a flipping sort of odd angle to get up to this position, whereas Ghost is already could have had the momentum and speed to curve in, make the save, or curve up the wall, backboard, and off the backboard make the save. He does still make it, but Magic, you're demoed for your trouble. That's coming down. I do a good job of rotating in between Ghost here, so that's a good rotation on me. Wait for Magic to be back. Magic's officially third man. And you do a decent job of not using any boost to push up here. It's good boost reservation, boost control, good management. Not use anything to just be here in the midfield ready. Could have picked up a couple, like at least that pad or so. Had a little more in the tank, it's okay though. At least you're ready. I'm kind of here on the bounce back, so that's good. Ghost coming in, Magic's coming in, Ghost going out. shouldn't be rotating out with him there. Should have just let him rotate out. You should have been ready to receive. Had I had anything come across, Ghost was in a safe position to get the follow-up. There's no reason for you to be committing this hard just to bail out. That's going to get you gold on a ton of times. As an individual and as a team player, that's going to damage you a lot to make like little second-guessed half commits like this and then bail out when there's really no danger for you to bail out or stay here. I do know that Ghost pushed up a couple times this third, and that's just something like the more we gain and build trust, the more we work on, the more we know who should be where, doing what, when, why. You'll have a lot less of those worries, a lot less of feeling like you need to compensate, and we'll have a lot less struggles like we did in this game. But anyway, I made my play on the ball. I guess I couldn't get it, so I'm going to come on out. Magic, you are there. Ghost is kind of, again, out of position because he should have been the one to come up and hit that. You should have been turned out. And now he's kind of in no man's land. But he does well to just make a pretty much a beeline for the net. Honestly, though, I would have probably come out like a little where the ball was on your left side. And it was probably either going to come here or had an opportunity of, being shot this way. You should have arced out this way, rotated back post and in. We would have had a lot easier time covering the options if they came at you faster, arcing across and cutting in this way. Then, just that tiny little U-curve, but you're still back nonetheless, so can't fault you for it. I try and make a touch on the ball, seeing that they're all pushed up here. My thought process is if I can cut this ball, even though I should be rotating out, I've seen that you're all the way rotating back, and so the only way I feel like to avoid the danger here is to make a play to try and buy time for you to get into position. Not only that, but I do end up noticing that there are 3 players right here in this position, pushed up and bunched up. If I can and do successfully cut this ball, it does look like whatever happens from here on results in a goal for us, or at least a save, not a goal, but shortly after a goal. If I can cut this enough and catch these guys out of position, I can bounce it straight out, and ideally, if we had good rotations, we could be out here or back in position quicker and ready to receive, and then Magic out for defense. But my thought process is I don't want you to be caught out where you're rotating back, so I'm cutting, and I should call that. Cutting to try and make a play. I do make a play, buy you some time, and at this point, instead of backing up, because you've already curved out, no reason for you to waste movement, waste momentum coming back in. You should have just kept on chucking along, pushed out, at least grab this pad, grab the boost after I touched it, something that would have got you back and ready to receive. Magic should have been rotating onto net. His path should have been from where he was inward and across, waiting back post. And then I could have rotated him behind him. He could have challenged that. And that's how that should have gone. So we'll see how it develops from here. Now I don't know why I cut across here, honestly. It was bad rotation on my part. Yeah. After I made the play, I should have left and come across. I didn't see any boost though, I think I might have needed boost. So I think I ended up just trying to pick up pads to compensate. I do grab the pads. I believe that Ghost has this, so honestly though it probably would have been just better just to grab the one and then maybe this one, but I don't really know what I was thinking. Magic does a good job being ready on the back wall in case he's beat by the 50, then he can jump off the back wall. And then I won't run into him when I'm rotating in the net. He punches out that way. Could have had a bit of a better recovery there. As soon as you saw it pinch out, it could just kind of like did a little bunny hop off the wall and then rotated on your reels. It didn't take you that much of a difference in time though. Just small improvements make the ranks go up easier. Yeah. Ghost, that ball's already past you. There's no way you can make a play unless rotating the way you are currently in this specific play. Coming off the wall here, should have angled yourself to come out and away from it. Probably landed, grabbed that pad, and just like sharp turned this way. And for boost, because that ball more than likely is gonna punch right up the wall here if that guy hits it, and I 50 it. I'm in a better position with all four wheels on the ground to make that 50 than you are currently, even though it's a dangerous one. So you land, and then you're going to want to cut back here. And if it does go in this direction, you can receive it up and try and work it out that way. So, I know that my controller's being a little fucky here with my controls, so I'm just doing the best I can to narrate as I'm going. You cutting in here, though, that's what I was trying to say. You cutting in here, though, is gonna, that ball's already past you. There's nothing you can do about that. So, cutting in like this is going, you're absolutely gonna run into somebody or cut them off for sure. You do grab the pad and go outward, but I don't know, it's still a little risky. Now you gotta go all the way back out and away from it, just to try and get yourself ready for what's coming next. I made the challenge. Magic pushed up with me, I think. He was ready in case it came past me. I think he should have just stayed where he was. He could have made the play. Now he's sort of like in no man's land over here trying to figure out how to get back. I'm going to grab boost. I should be rotating up. I did. That's good. Ghost could have already had the boost and been ready to rotate in defense. And Magic could have had, you know, if he had waited here, like, he should have had a pad, arc, and then out to the middle, you know, I think you could have got all the way to grabbing, like, this pad before you cut middle ready for a pass. Or even where this guy hit it, you probably could have been ready for the shot faster than me. You do seem to get there almost faster than me. Apollo cuts you off, no big deal. Ghost from where he was pushes out late, which is good. This is a good rotation back now. We recovered our rotations, which is good. Ghost pushing up, I'm challenging. Just coming back. That part's not good. Not that dangerous, it's not that good though. It's a wasted movement. It might seem insignificant, but you could have and should have honestly just, instead of curving back in, Ghost was already up waiting for it. Could have just kind of continued your path straighter this way, and then your rotation would have been at least grabbing this pad and that pad, and then you could have been where you are now with, you know, a little bit extra boost. Just little adjustments will save you a lot. Ghost is good on the pickup. Magic should have been rotating in for it. I think I saw him arcing this way, so I rotated out that way versus trying to cut back to the wall. You always want to look for your teammates and do the best to avoid the path that they're on. Comms will help that. Improved comms will help rotations for sure. That's a good follow-up. That is a great follow-up. That is an immense play to make. You've already made your play on the ball. Might as well, while you're in here, make a disruption as you're on your way out of rotation. Take that guy out. Massive play. Good job. And then Magic's there. Follow up. Picture perfect. Well done. So, I'm not going to harp on the micro adjustments too much, just that, you know, in a worst case scenario, that guy jumps a little earlier than Ghost can receive it. You're going to probably need that extra pad that you could have had to, you know, pop up and make the save, because I hadn't rotated fully back yet. Not bad though, not bad. I don't recall who rotates up here for the cheat. I do, okay, yeah, so this is fine. I have the opportunity to get more pads than Ghost would have. It might be better to just have the middle, maybe that'll just be our strat, to have the middle person push up on these kickoffs, because I have more opportunity to get more pads and stay safe than Ghostly does. So, I grabbed my pads. I pushed up too far though. I don't think I should have flipped as late as I did, or wave dash as late as I did. There wasn't really a big need for that. I shouldn't have done that. And then, kicks out here. I should have really had more of it covered than I did, but that's okay. I rotate this way because my thought process is Apollo is on this side, and I don't really want to get intercepted by him, bumped, and then pushed into Ghost, so I kind of rotated this way. I should have cut more here, but I'm pretty sure I was trying to beat that Camelot prick to the boost. Yeah, my rotation's weird. Here's all weird. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Like, there should no need for me to backflip. No reason at all. Honestly, like, that guy's coming across right here, and I know he's coming across, so if I was gonna take the boost from him, which I did, and try and make a stop on the ball while Magic's rotating back after kickoff and Ghost is ready for the save, there is a high likelihood that, you know, Ghost gets that over his head and then it's behind him, and then I should be the one grabbing this boost up the wall, out of Ghost's way, off the backboard to receive it on the other end in case it goes by him. So, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking there, but this guy actually does get a bump on Ghost. And, yeah, if that guy was better than he was, that was a goal for sure, and I could have easily stopped that just by being in position across, down off the backboard, and I could have met him right here. I don't know what the hell my rotation was doing. This guy's just gotta fuck us up, so we gotta figure out how to recover rotation and make a play, a touch. Magic shouldn't be cutting across like that after he gets bumped. Let's see his player perspective real quick. Yeah, there's nobody in front of you, none of us in front of you, so you can take your, like, you need to take your camera off real quick, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend where the ball's in the box like that, but you can just do like a quick little right stick flash to the right and see where we are, and know that we're not to the right of you either. Where we are is behind you, so you're not going to want to cut in to the net like you just did, because that caused like a little clutter, a little bump. What you're going to want to do is follow Camelot with those pads, try and bump him out of the way, or bump him back to his side, and then you're going to want to cut, like, you're going to want to follow this path. I know that, like, you can't see where this guy is, so you think, hey, that ball's in the box, their third teammate's probably coming in over my head. Well, you might think that, and that's what I would think, but even if that were the case, there's nothing you can do. That ball is way too far to your left for you to curve, turn, jump, and boost, and make that save if that guy was ready for it, where he should have been before, you know, you got into position. So your best bet at this point is to follow Camelot in that little arc, that straight line that he's going. Try and get the bump on him here so he doesn't get the catch. If it does just kind of sort of drop down, I don't really know which way. Okay, yeah. If it does drop down on Camelot, you know, you're over here, you're in his face, you're pushing him out of the way, making sure he doesn't get that, then, you know, even if you might even be able to receive it here and take it out. Again, if you thought that Apollo was flying in, you're just sort of panicking here. No, you know, there's nothing you can do about it anyways. Probably not a good idea to go for it. The best person in this position, and what you should do where you see this Ghost, because I am pretty positive that your position sees exactly what's going on. Okay, you see that I'm headed back to you right here. My nose is facing away from the play. I know you can't really see Magic all that, yeah, you can't really see Magic all that well, but at this point, you can. And you have the better play to make, you know. You can see that Apollo's off to your right. He's not flying in for it. You should be able to make the call here right when you see it. You see it right there that Apollo hasn't taken off. Of course, it takes everybody's brain a little bit to adjust, but you had plenty of time between then and right now. Look at that huge little arc you just made. Or yeah, huge little idiot. That little arc that you just made in that sort of like huge sort of field view that you have now. You had enough time to make the call. Hey, you know, take a glance around, see, hey, you know, Kick's headed towards me, Magic's not in a good spot to save that, it's pretty much above his head, and nobody's flying in to get it. Magic, you should have been able to call out that you were bumping, you know, you got Camelot, you chased him off with something to let us know, because Ghost can't really see him at this point when he should be making the call out. Your call out will help his call out will help your call out. And right here, you just kind of like defeat the play, like cutting in front of him, it stalls Ghost. He doesn't know which way you're going to jump over your head or to drive straight, but he should have and could have been able to drive a little straighter had you made the call out, and he should have made that touch regardless. So, you know, things to improve on, little things. My rotation, I'm going to check real quick. I know that I was coming in behind, and I think I ended up bumping you because of the rotation path you took. I landed going in behind Ghost. He should have been going up, and then, well, narrowly made that. I did read that you went behind me. You shouldn't have been pushing out with me at this point. You should have just, as soon as I made it past you there and you were arcing in, I was in front of you. You had the view of me. You could see that I was in front of you. You should have just waited here, let the play develop where you couldn't really see past what was happening. I would have come out. I should have pushed up a little more, like, aggressively, but I think I get there in time. Ghost makes a good interruption after he misses the ball, so, you know, good play to make. And I hit it. Ghost collects. Magic's ready, so now we have a good rotation going right now. Ghost's back. I made my play. I'm out. Magic's up. Ghost should have had a little more narrow of a cut, because especially if Magic you can call out, you got him beat. You can definitely make that call, like, you know you're going to get to that ball 100% before the other person. Like, that's real easy to see right there in this specific instance. Player view. Yeah. You all day, you know for a fact that you've got everybody here beat. You for sure know it. Like, there's no way they're beating you to that. Like, you're just too fast. Like, their positioning. And you should make that call out as soon as you can, because, let me get over here to Ghost. Ghost could have had a little bit more narrow of a cut and picked up this pad. He could have come in, cut, picked up this pad, and then he could have been ready. As I was pushing straight out, I could have caught up the middle of the field. Ghost could have caught up here, been ready. Turned out this way is what I would have done a little bit. Been ready for it. I should have pushed out more. Honestly, I should have grabbed this pad, come around here, and then he's either going to bang that middle or off to the right, so I should not have cut like this, especially where he was so close to it. I think that I read that he was hitting it awkwardly, though, so I think I saw it as an opportunity, but again, that's a trust thing. It would have been more efficient if we had trust for you to call out, you know, hey, I'm beating him, and then Ghost to be like, okay, next, me next, I got, and then I could have just, you know, adjusted accordingly. That's a trust thing that'll come along. It would have been better for that to happen, because I did see him hit it awkward, so that's why I didn't turn up, but it still wasn't a good idea necessarily for me to abandon where I should have been. I should have been cutting here and grabbing this, and then, you know, turning up or turning back, depending on how things develop. Ghost is up for it, makes a good touch. Coming back over to Magic, you could have made the call touching it too immediately after you touched the ball, even if you didn't realize when, at the moment of contact, where you were sending it. Like, immediately after you see the direction it's being sent, just call it out. Like, call right, or Magic, whoever's, like, you know, whoever is off to that way. I know that you, from your perspective, did see Magic in front of you, so you should have known that he was going to be off to your right somewhere. If it wasn't right in that vicinity, you knew that he was going to be rotating and couldn't have been too far, at least this way, for him to cut off in, and you just should have called out that he had it next. I'm coming back around. I'm going to wait mid. I do a good job being patient for the most part. That was too aggressive, though. I'm definitely getting beat here. I don't really know why. I think I just wanted to put, like, a little extra pressure on him, make him think I was going to commit for it, but I probably shouldn't have. I probably just should have played it safer. A better player over here, in Brodek's case, is going to know that he has the ball before me easily. Even if I do fake challenge, it's not going to make a difference. I don't know. I think I was just trying to get in the heads of them, being too cocky, thinking that they can't read the game as good as me or something. So I'll sort of, like, fake him out a little bit. But honestly, I should have just been more patient, not cut it so far up. Ghost was headed back after his touch. Magic's headed back after his touch. Ghost does a good job realizing Magic and me have made our plays and is turning up to be the first man again. I should have backed off of that way sooner. I cut Ghost's path off here because of it. Again, communication. I can't see where Ghost is at this point. So a call out. I got. You know, leave. Me, something, anything. Let me know that you're there, you're ready to receive it. I'll just kind of like make a disruption here. I'll cut in, probably try and punch this guy out, make Kamalot out, or, you know, I'll rotate it out. Magic, your best call to make out here would be that, you know, if you are cutting up like you are, would to just say that you're mid behind Ghost, with you Ghost, anything to let me and him know where you are, and I can play accordingly. Had I known you were midfield instead of turning up, which I think I do, and again, I shouldn't have gone this far out. This is entirely my fault getting in Ghost's way, but he also should have made the call out, so better comms. Had I known you were there, though, I would have gone for the disruption. Turned up this way, smacked them out of the way. I really get in his way here, though. I don't know why I'm here. You know, staying quiet, kind of a death sentence in situations where I can't see anybody, and I know you guys can't see me. We seem to do okay recovering, though. I don't know how they kind of didn't play that. I'm coming. I should be out this way, cutting in to midfield at least. At the very least, cutting at a diagonal, if not straight across, that way I can be ready for what's about to happen. And I could have adjusted accordingly, which I did eventually do. Ghost should have backed off of that a little bit sooner, I think. Yeah, he's got the... No, Magic's got the touch here. Ghost should have had the call out. Magic, this ball is in a position where you're not going to win it. Like, you got to realize, like, positions like this, he's so much closer to you. There's not a play that you could make that's going to make any difference on the ball being launched across our net or across the field here. Like, you as a player can't do anything about that ball. Sure, you can demo the guy if that's what you're trying to go for, but you tried to go for the ball here, and you're not going to win that fight anytime, any place, at all. Playing the miss, yeah, like, maybe, but even still, let's say he missed. You jump right here, and you flip, you would have whiffed the ball even if that guy missed. You just weren't in a good position to hit it. Like, the way that it was angled, the way that your car was positioned, you should have just left that regardless and started making your way back. As soon as you grabbed the boost, a beeline to the right side, because I don't even think anybody was on the right side at that point. You would have had just a free... Fuck. Yeah, you would have had a free path to come back, bump this guy, or, you know, rotate back in while I was going up for the defend. You should have left that for Ghost. Ghost should have called out. He had it. Then if you had done that and you'd rotated back, I could have had, you know, again, I should have done my positioning better, but I could have had a quicker way to cut up this way, try and make a play to stop it before it got to the net, and you could have already been headed back this way. After collecting that 100 boost, you would have been at least back here by the time you'd gotten over to the wall over there, and you would have been able to get back and cover backboard, net, anything over on this side. But we'll see how things develop at this point. I'm the only one back. I'm getting chased down. This is dangerous. If this guy's a better player, he bumps me. That's a goal. He doesn't bump me because I avoid him. This guy also goes for the bump. I avoid him. It's all about patience on that. If you guys want to know how to avoid bumps, I'm not like the greatest at it. And again, when I say when players should be better, he should have probably had me on the first demo there if he'd taken his time. At least been up in my face. He could have slowed down. Doesn't matter necessarily if he gets the demo, but as long as it's on my car, controlling me and making sure I can't control my car, then that's probably a goal. You know, because then the guy coming off the wall, instead of going for the bump for me, can just go for net here, but we'll see that in a second here. I see that he's going for the bump. I check to see that I'm on. That's what that little camera check is for me. I do a quick ball cam on, grab my pad, wave dash ball cam off to see that I'm headed and not going to hit the wall if I keep my trajectory. And then I just, that little like quick camera check sort of just like gauge how the ball is going to be arced too. So I see that he's probably going to go for the demo, so I peel out a little bit, make him think I'm going to rotate in for net. And then I just completely cut in so that way it throws him off. Yeah, that's what that little wiggle was for me. Is just to sort of gauge how much room I had in order to avoid this guy's bump. I wanted to see how far away I was from the next pad and the goalpost to make it a believable fake. So I make him think by taking my ball cam off that I'm going in for back post here, and I still know he's coming in for demo, and I make it a little more believable, and then all of a sudden when I see him finally turn, I sharp cut, and that's how I avoided that bump. Now I see this guy misses the ball, and the only other play he has to make facing me is probably going to be that guy. I go for the bump, he's going to think I'm going to keep traveling straight, so I'm just going to hit the brakes and curve slightly to the right. And that's how I get out of that predicament. Alright, I'm going to watch the rest of this now. I think... yeah, I had that guy beat. After he turned, I think I might have panicked. Yeah, I don't know why I panicked and hit it away, honestly. I think I can't see who's on my left side, so I'm thinking the only reason I made this boom ball of a play instead of... oops. The only reason I made the boom ball play instead of controlling it was because after this guy goes for the demo where he's chasing me, I don't know if he's actually going to arc back around and try and chase me again. A lot of people do often do that. Magic or Ghostly, you're seeing this develop. You should really be helping me out over here where you see that I'm last line of defense. It's really your responsibility to kind of call out if what he's doing over on this side. So after I'm call out, like, I know for a fact that I'm calling out he's trying to bump, or something like that. I know that I always do that, or he's bumping. And then, you know, once you see that sort of develop, it's your responsibility where you can't really do anything else at this point to call out, hey, he's coming back around for a bump. If he would have curved back around and try and go for me again. He's bumping again. I'll know who you're talking about because that was the guy that just tried to bump me. You know, short, concise, quick call outs. And, or he, you know, he's going to steal the back corner boost, you know, or you got time, you know, just let me know that, you know, this, or even where you see him, you can, if he does try and, like, at this point decide he wants to curve around for the demo or something, it's a great play for you to make, where you see this guy, he's already taken your boost, he's already tried to bump me, you're in a perfect position, his momentum's carrying up this way, carry yourself in a way where you take him out of the position of counterattack, because the ball's headed the other way now. The only way for it to go is straight that way, or it's going to take time for it to counterattack. This guy's going to have to curve back around, and this guy's going to have to go in position to be ready. So yes, while it may be, you know, anxiety-inducing that you're not immediately back for the what could be the counterattack, you got to look and see from your perspective. That you can see Magic in me, and then you see Magic come into frame there on your left. So you have at least until, let's see, you see me there, coming back, you see that guy bump me. Okay, look at that camera check you just did, and honestly you should have ball cam on the entire time you're doing this. It shouldn't be car cam. This should just be a quick check to grab your thing, and then it should be immediately from here, it should be ball cam. This should be ball cam the entire time to see how the play is developing, because now you have a whole blind spot to the left side of what's happening. You have no idea where Magic is, no idea where the other two is. All you see is an empty boost right here, and that doesn't do you any good, right? Because once you've looked to see that you're going in the direction of that pad, this is where you should be, exactly where you should be. You did your quick camera check, you know that your car is headed in the direction of that pad, you're going to pick up the pad if you keep heading that direction, don't make any turns. You can do like one more quick camera check like that to make sure you don't head up the wall and adjust your momentum, which you do, and then from here it should be right back to ball cam. Because you're in a straight path for your car to pick up that boost if it spawns. And if it doesn't, then, you know, like, you're going over the pad, even here you could turn on the ball cam. Like, there's nothing you looking at that pad right now is going to do for you. Either you're going to go over it and get it, or you're not going to go over it, or you're going to go over it and not get it. What you need to do is be sure that you're keeping an eye on how the play is developing. After you see what's going on in front of you, after this, you know, this is last resort sort of camera check right here, to see that you're on the path that you should be on. and then, you know, you're either going to get the boost or you're not. You taking ball cam off for this makes no difference as long as you stay on the trajectory that you aimed your car at with the or with the ball cam off. And then you should have kept it on. You see that he's headed, you know, my way, and you could have seen the play developing to the left to make out a call like that. So your adjustments really have to be how you control your camera. You really got to make sure that you're using car cam only when necessary, like to make adjustments of direction, of like catching the ball if it's over your head and you can't see it and you're sort of like watching the circle and it's coming down, you know. You have to work on knowing when to take your ball cam off and when to not. So in this position you could have had yourself, you know, seeing what's going on, and you could have seen Magic way sooner. Yeah, had your ball cam on, you would have seen Magic, I think, the entire play, as a matter of fact. You might not have seen, like, Apollo until he was like a little closer to you, if it scares you that he might have demoed you. But, you know, even at that point, you know that Apollo's in the area, right? The point that I said that you should turn on your camera, at this point you can see what's in front of you. You can see Apollo, or you can see me. And then you know that the trajectory of what he's heading, even if he demos me, is towards the back corner boost, because that's just where his momentum's taking him. So you could have had ball cam on, seen the play developing, and then like known that he was on that trajectory, did a quick camera snap if you wanted to like tap triangle real quick, seeing that he was still in front of you, and then, you know, avoided the bump and then back to ball cam, or you could have gone for the bump and then back to ball cam, and then you would have been able to call out for me. Like, see, that's what you just did. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. See, I'm saying these things and then they're happening. But yeah, so yeah, you do that. You make sure that he's by you, or make sure that you run through him, whatever method you choose there, and then you switch back to ball cam. That's a good play, but you need to learn to more actively use the camera and when to use it. And so you could have been able to call out, you know, Magic's positioning or the bump that was happening, and, you know, I could have just left that as I should have. I'm pretty sure that's where I was going with this whole spiel of mine, is that after I clear it, Magic told me his positioning. He would have been, me knowing his positioning would have been knowing that he was back. That's where I was going with that. I made a booming touch off of what I assumed was happening, because I couldn't see this side of the field, where I was just quickly shooting off for this. My whole little rant was about that, like, you know, if you were calming with me, and Magic was calming with me, that he was back, and you were calming with me that I wasn't about to get bumped, and that you see Magic, or, you know, make a call out for Magic that he's, you know, in that, he's behind you, you're safe, you got time, you know, anything of that nature, then instead of booming this ball away and giving possession to Road back here, it's a 1v1 in the direction of his goal. I'm pretty much going to beat him. I control this ball. Instead of booming it like this, instead of jumping, I just drive, and the ball's right in position for me to catch it on my head. And Brodik's already turning that way because he's thinking I'm going to boom it. I did, I shouldn't have. But I could have caught it, and he's already turning that way, and then I could have just drove it up, gotten close enough for him to he would have eventually had to turn for the challenge if he wanted to get me, either one way or the other. It would have taken longer to go this way, but he was already facing this way, so as soon as he turned for that challenge, I flicked it over his head, and that would have been in the net. Ask how many times I've done that to Magic. I've waited for his challenge to turn, and then just flick right over his face. So I'm just trying to, like, I'm not trying to point out that I'm, like, better in any way or anything like that. The point of me saying my thought processes and what everybody has to improve on is because I make decisions that I know aren't good based off of what I know you guys have tendencies to do and are capable of. Already? Oh, fuck. Alright, one sec, guys. get back into it. Sorry, I had to say goodbye to everybody. They're leaving for the day, and I gotta put my kids on the bus soon, but I have a few more replay analysis to go over eventually, but I'm not doing that today. I just want to go over at least one. Oop, where the hell did I? Alright, so I made my touch. I boomed it. I should have then turned up to go for the demo, which I did try to. I'm going to continue where I'm already up and out of where I should be to go for demo plays. Magic's right here, kind of playing the ball. Ghost is approaching it from the back, which is good. Should have stayed a little more in this area, Ghost, right on this path. Then you would have had an opportunity with some patience to turn up in case you needed to, or turn back, which in this case you would have needed to. Actually, you'd been straight on for the ball in this case and challenged him right there. So let me just, yeah, I don't know why he came all the way out here. I think maybe he thought that Magic was gonna like win the there's a possibility that Magic wins the 50, but you know, he didn't even get a chance to get the 50 or approach it. You should have been able to see that Apollo was hitting that. Let's actually see your perspective again. Yeah, you should have seen that Apollo had that way before Magic, and when you do see that, you do end up turning, but it was, you know, way too late at that point. So I understand why you like see how things sort of are going and why you would travel this way, but you know, once one of us, like at this point you can see I no longer have the ball in front of me at the very least. So, you know, I know it's hard to kind of see past their heads, like their nameplates, but here you see the ball, there you see the ball, there you see the ball. The ball at this point right here, when Magic touches it, you can see that I'm all the way in front of him and the ball's behind me. Even through the nameplates, you can see where the ball is. And if you can't, you're gonna have to pull like nameplate scaling back or your distance forward a little bit in order to, you know, make these adjustments. But at this point, you see there's a decent distance between like the ball and me and the ball at Magic, and so what you should be doing when you realize that is you should be, instead of continuing your cut up like you were, you can just make a small like cut and continue like the safe straight path. Hit your brakes a little bit, you don't gotta be moving 100 miles an hour, and then you can understand that either Magic's gonna get that and maybe you won't have the momentum completely that way, but you know, you don't need the momentum completely that way. You need to be ready for receiving a pass, or you need to be ready to head back and defend. So at this point where you see that the ball is in a good distance between me and Magic, and you know, me and the ball and him and the ball relatively, you should know that it's a guessing game. Anybody could hit this ball. Magic could hit it and it could go across, or that guy could come and swoop and chow 50-50, and you'll have to be ready to make the turn either way. So you should be sort of like angling your nose slightly this way a little more, and then hitting the brakes so you're coming slow and ready to accelerate in speed and just gun it if it goes that way. And then you have, like, you know, the pad here, that's additional boost for you after you just spent a little bit of boost, you know, picking up speed, and then you make the jump somewhere around like right here, and you'll be ready for the aerial if it comes this way, even if it comes all the way across. Like, you don't need to make the touch ball on net shot play every single time. That's why we're not winning as many games as we could be. You need to make the efficient play every time, and the efficient play is to be ready here for that ball to pop across or for it to come back this way. And either way, where your car's, you know, you're going to have it not pointing towards the wall, you're probably going to want to end up being straight on the wall. The efficient play from this point, if the ball goes that way or this way, either way is for you to turn left. Turn left and rotate back, so that way you can come on through here, and you should be at this point by now. Come on through grab. You don't even need to necessarily grab the pads, but where you're already turning this way, if you're already kind of like, you know, up straight like this, and you're turning left, you know, it's not a terrible idea. The ball's behind you. It probably would have been hit by like here at this point, and you're down there by those two squares. You know, there is a possibility the guy could boom it from here, maybe, depending on how things play out, and it could go on net. But it's a safe bet where you're already sort of like coming this way, and your car's a little more left angularly off the wall. Even with the small adjustment I told you should make, you're still kind of like, if your car's nose is turned this way, you can see that like if I go backwards, now it's like I'm in the corner. That's because you're in like still a triangular sort of like, I don't know what, 30-degree angle, something like that. I'm not good with math. From the wall, you're not exactly parallel with it. So that being the case, it's quicker for you to turn left instead of curve in and turn right, because you already have your momentum carrying you left via where the ball is going to roll up. You're going to come out here, collect this, collect this, collect this, be back in position. Alright, and then let's see how things develop from here. So you're way out here. This could have been much worse. If Apollo had hit that harder or better or faster, that could have just shot straight out and you were in no man's land, and that was going to go in. Now we're all in a bit of an awkward position here. We got to figure out who's going to rotate where and to get back. Magic's on the left side, so he should go for that boost, absolutely. I'm going to cut across here because it looks to me that you were getting a bit of a slow turn and I was already turning up. So yeah, I had the momentum going that way. I was going to get back before you had turned and gone that way. So my hope is that Magic collects the boost and he guns around in time to be ready. Again, if you were, let's talk about what should have happened before I say what did happen. If you had made that positioning and been ready, Magic could have grabbed that boost and then come back this way and hopefully avoided the corner because that boost was going to pop up. And then he could have been, you know, you would have already been, you know, arced around, like I said, in net. Magic would have been coming from the other angle, pretty much fully boosted. And then you would have been ready to push up because you would have been first man again by the time you'd gotten at least around to this general vicinity. And I would have been rotating either across the field like I was to try and get this back boost, or I think ideally if I was doing it right and I had, you know, like seen that you guys were rotating well, I would have probably come like over, hoped for mid to pop up, or just shot straight across to back over here, so that way I could have been third man, because Magic was, you were going to get back first in that case, and then Magic would have gotten back second, and then I would have had to be third, so I should have gone back here, grabbed a boost, and been ready for you to rotate out, him to rotate in behind you, and me to rotate in likewise. But how we have things currently, Magic's still going to get back before me. My hope is that he'll grab that back boost and avoid the back corner over here. I'm already kind of headed in a this way direction. Again, maybe not the greatest play I could have made. Not really sure what it looks like from my perspective at this point, but I think in my head I'm thinking if I cut back across, I know I'm going to get in front of Ghostly faster than he is able to turn around. And if the ball comes straight up, I have an opportunity, if it goes straight on net, to cut it, knock it away. And Magic's taking the arc to go that way, so I'm really like the only line of defense if it goes straight forward. That's kind of my thought process in this specific scenario, and why I didn't make the correct play, which was to go out and around, is that, you know, everybody's out of position. I'm going to get quicker than Ghost going this way, and Magic's going to go for the arc. He's not going to get there as fast as I will be able to going straight, so I'm the only line of defense in this situation in my head. So then I think at some point I pick up that the ball is actually traveling. Yeah, I see the hit here, so I'm trying to stay at least
mega cringe.
Close to it. Your fucking face is mega cringe. Close to it. Magic ends up getting the stop here, so I actually do want to see my perspective. I want to see what I was really actually thinking truly. Yeah, okay, so I did actually end up keeping ball cam on for this. I was trying to continue going straight up the field, and I wanted to see if that boost had spawned yet, because I saw that Magic ended up actually making the stop here. So at this point, as I'm going up, I see that Magic is going to cut in, and either he has the read on it, or he's going back for boost. And I do end up seeing that he does make that slight turn to go for the challenge at the very least. So I should have waited a split second more to make a decision, because it probably wasn't a good idea for me to make this decision, but I did, so I'm already committed to it. And I'm hoping the boost will be popped up by the time I get here. I don't know why the hell I'm curving way out like this. I really should have had a better turn, and I could have picked up the boost if I did. But, you know, I get back. Magic should have absolutely left that, 100% left that. I want to see what his perspective was, though, after he gets his touch. Magic, you're here. Me and Ghost are headed back. Now, at this point, you see that we're behind you. You've picked up the boost. You're flopping all over the place. You know, we're rotating in. I know that it looks like I just rotated to the corner. My butt was facing away from you, and it was. But, you know, at this point, I should call out if I didn't, now at this point you kind of can't really see me, but you know that I'm in the general vicinity and that, you know, you can trust me. I'm not really going to let anything happen. I'm going to try and rotate properly. But at this point you do absolutely see me. There is no touch where you're positioned that you can make on this ball that will be beneficial in, like, any way. If I'm being honest, you should have seen me there and left it regardless of if I had to call it or not. Like, you had a lot of time to see me. Like, even at full speed, I think you had quite... Yeah, you had enough time to see me and hit the brakes at least. Here's your touch. Here's you going back, and you saw me, and you should have just pulled to the left or stopped at the moment that you saw me. So, you know, we got to work on that. I got to work on my callouts. You would have had more time had I called it out. And then I probably could have made a play off of that. I'm not really sure, depending on how I saw things. I know that I had, yeah, I had 100%. I had the boom at least. That would have been the way that I angled my car just then. I was going to hit it with the corner, and that was going to be like 100% on target. I'm not sure that Broad would have gotten to it. I don't know what his boost meter was at, but I know that he was turning as I was hitting it. He could have probably made the save, but by the time I boomed that, it would have been like pretty far over his head. He would have at least had to aerial to save it, for sure. But, you know, live and learn. I make the most of what I can after what happened, I think, by trying, let me see. I hit you here, and I try to follow it up after I kind of blast you. You are going in the same direction, but I end up closer to the ball, so I'm like, okay, well, I got it. I should have tried to carry it and make a play instead of going for boost, but I got the boost away from him. At least he doesn't have that, and he ends up screwing up on the wall. Ghost is in a good position to pick it up. He rotates in well, Magic rotates out well, and then I cut rotation here because I see that Ghost is making a play on the ball, and that Magic isn't pushing up as I'm starting to rotate back. So that's that deep rotation thing I'm used to with Magic. That
Love you, Dad.
I love you.
We need socks. Where's the bag full of socks?
I don't know.
There's everything that has socks in it.
Right there.
My butt's on fire. Oh, I see it.
Turn the light on. Love you, bye. Anyway, so as I was saying, I'm used to that deep rotation you do, Magic, and we got to work on that. You also have to work on that, but we have to work on it together as like a collective. But when I turn here, before I, you know, head back, I always try and check and make sure that. Fuck. What the hell? There we go. Yeah, I'm checking the ball here, and then or no, wait. So right about this point, I see that you're headed back, and that your car butt cheeks are facing the other way. Yeah, so at that point I'd seen that you were facing the opposite direction, and I knew that unless I turned, there was not going to be a follow-up to Ghost's play in time for it to make a difference. So, because I saw that you were there, I leave my ball cam on here and I just make the cut and I go for the play with him, because I figure that I'll be there before you and you're already back if need be. So that was my thought process in that. You didn't do a bad job rotating in. You were just deeper back than I thought you would be. I think it could have ended up differently at this point. You saw a Ghost there, so he was good rotating in. I think maybe to avoid that uncertainty, you were just sort of like headed at him. I think at this point you still had your ball cam on, if I'm not mistaken. Why does it say I'm gonna go? Oh. Yeah, you did. So you should have quickly did a camera check to see where your brother was, and just adjusted from there instead of trying to like cut it, because any longer and you would have bumped him out of the way. You should have made a bit of a straighter, bit more of a beeline this way, picking up the pads, and then you could have had, like, you know, rotated back posts, had a better position to receive it in case it came this way, and Ghost was pushing out as he should have been. Everybody should be making a call out there on what they're doing, so that way these things are not happening as much. Oh. Fuck, I'm not feeling good. But, yeah. That's all I have for that. That's my only criticism. Is that you didn't necessarily rotate, like, too deep this time, but a little off-angled. You could have, if you did a camera check and saw Ghost here, by the time you were here, if you had been going a little straighter, picked up this pad and saw that he was off that way, and began to, like, rotate in behind him, and he should have already been, like, going faster at this point, which I think he is. Yeah, he goes pretty quick at that point. You could have picked up this pad, that pad, been a little parallel to him, but a little bit slower, let him approach, and then ready to shoot up straight with him, because I was already on the way back. I understand that that guy looked like he could have had a touch, so you didn't make a bad play by rotating all the way back to that, of course, but it could have been at least more efficient by coming back in a straighter path, having boost, and then being ready. I think that was ultimately as good as it could play out. That was the correct play, to see you there and then cut to be third man, to see that, you know, you were already in position. There was no need for me to be back with you. Again, so, like, really, like I said, the only criticism is just maybe go a little straighter, do the camera check, grab a couple of pads, be on your merry way out, and be behind us ready to receive what's coming. You are now in midfield. Let's see how you get there. You go from there, grab some pads. Okay, good. Ghost is chasing up the wall. I'm waiting on the touch. I could have been a little more this way. I don't really know how I ended up following him to get where I did. Yeah, there's not really a lot of reason for me to be my car facing this way when he's already hit that. Apollo, if he's going to hit it at all, is going to hit it this way. I think my thought process to sort of going that way was maybe that I didn't see how close... Yeah, I didn't see how close his teammate was. I didn't know if as soon as you hit that, his teammate was going to receive it, push it back into the wall. So, you know, at some point, though, I should have been able to see, you know, probably right around there. The goal is completely... I mean, even before that, really. I mean, they could have been going fast, sure, and got it in time, but, like, probably right about here, I should have been able to see that nobody's flying in time. I have a good view of the field. Even if they're going fast, they're not going to get there necessarily before me. I should have been at the very least angled a little more to the right, like had my nose pointed slightly more this way. Again, micro adjustments, but they matter, because then once Ghost hits this and I see the play continuing to develop, I could be here and already a little more this way, and my position would have been bang, instead of how far arced out I just was. Like, this is the difference it could have made, is compared to what I did do. You know, where am I? I'm right here. Rotate, cut, like I said, should have made a bit of a sharper cut at this point, and this would have been the difference. Picking up this, coming over, being ready, hitting the ball, that's a goal. And if at the very least it's a 50-50 by Braddock that goes back, or Brodock, whatever his name is, that goes back this way. So, you know, micro adjustments, but they matter. Alright, now everybody's on the rotate. Magic's rotating up, I'm rotating out. I don't know actually if I got in your way here, Magic, did I? Had I... No. Yeah, I think I rotated as best I could there. We could have had better callouts. Magic should have said that he was ready to receive, or he was mid or something, and then I could have, you know, and should have anyways. I should have camera checked if I didn't see where he was. Maybe I could have not quite been where I was. If I turned left though, I was going to hit Ghost retreating in my mind, because Ghost does end up going that way, and I didn't want to be too far to the left cutting up because I didn't want to hit Magic, so I think I rotated all right. But Magic had more opportunity to make a play right here. We're going to check his point of view. Yeah, right here, that should have been a cut left. I know it's hard to read sort of from that distance, Magic, like how this guy's going to touch it, so maybe you're like ready for a boom. But if this distance is too much for you, you should like put the zoom in a little more, or enhance the nameplate scale, because from this point right here you can see that Kamalad is parallel to his goal line. He's still parallel, hasn't moved. You should be able to read this as him coming across, and yeah, be ready for a boom, but right at that point right there, you should be able to, like, eventually, as you improve and get better and you know, can read the game, you're going to need to read this quicker and make an adjustment. Again, a micro adjustment, but a adjustment that matters. At that point where you see the ball has come out as far as it did, and he's still kind of parallel to his goal, your nose, instead of pointing out this way more, should have been pointed here. Collect the pad and sort of up the gut here. And then, even if that guy hits it to the right, which is the only scenario at this point, unless he does some like weird flip and it bangs out middle, you're still kind of like right here, but it's not going to be a power touch. You'll have collected the pad and been like sort of like up in this vicinity for it to come anywhere this way, anywhere straight, you know, or to head up straight into the air if you would rather have played it a little safer and hit the brakes here just in case he boomed it. But there was no way at this point that that guy was going to hit it parallel on the goal line, and there was no way that Brodock or whatever was going to have a good angle on it. And I just want to make sure absolutely one more time from your perspective that that can be seen, so I'm not just talking out my ass. Okay, yeah, Kamalad's still kind of parallel to it, but even if it looks like he's still kind of turning into it, you have an opportunity here. Turn the pad. You have 100 boost.
Teach me in the ways our Rocket League and ILL teach you the ways of fork knife keg.
Roger. So even if you... I heard you, Jeff. I'm trying not to lose my chain of thought, though. Even if you are kind of turned off this way here, like, you have time to turn like slightly left and grab the pad, and you have 100, so there's no reason for you to keep turning out the way that you are. Really, you can realistically turn left and still be fully able to challenge that ball. So it still stands even if you were afraid of the boom. Where the hell did you go? Yeah, even if you were afraid of the boom here, it still stands that you should have made the decision to, instead of continue the path that you just did, continue this way, pick up that pad, and then you would have had plenty of time to quick aerial into the air if it was a boom. Like, yeah, he didn't have you beat here. You just gotta work on trusting yourself, work on mechanics, work on some challenge, work on a little bit of everything, obviously. But positionally, you know, you gotta work on, oh, my jaw's all fucked up. You gotta work on knowing the micro adjustments that make a difference and reading the game and like how players are positioned. So had you been here, you could have made the clear for the boom if that's what you're afraid of, but it wasn't probably going to end up being that way. If you knew how the players were positioned, if you saw them properly, then you could have cut up this way and then been able to at least challenge Apollo or bump him before he got there, you know, however that ends up being. Let me just rewind this one more time. Apollo cuts across, Ghost bumps him. So by the time, if you hadn't turned up that way, you could have been on these two squares just about. And then you could have been continuing this path, continuing, challenged Apollo right here. Probably pinched it back into his net, honestly, had you hit it like if you'd flipped to the left. At least back into the corner. And then if it had been to the corner, I was all the way across, Ghost could have made the conscious choice to make a cut up the wall and approach it, and then I could have cut back in from this position to Ghost cut, have boost, or at least been ready for, you know, touch off the wall into that, and you could have been on your merry way out that way. So let's see how things do end up going from here. Ghost makes the touch on the ball, or touch on the back wall there. I should have, again, I made my micro adjustment properly. You should have made your micro adjustment properly. Ghost, let's see what he does here. We've covered mine and you. He comes out as he should. He's still doing what he should. At this point right here, you don't know where I am, necessarily. Right, Magic, so you see that we are ahead of you, you're third man. You see that at this point I'm turning back, and you're all the way out. At this point, you're first man. It is your responsibility to make a play on that ball, no matter the cost, or we're getting gold on. Because we're all so far out, and you're already committed, turn to the right. If he booms that right now, if he hits that ball, if he just slightly turns it, you either have to make a completely panicked, like super sharp boost into turn, into aerial, and readjustment to hit this, or you have to hope to God that it hits the crossbar and or you backflip and can boost up into it, because if Apollo chooses to turn and he's a better player and he gets a power shot on this, we are as good as gold on. I can attempt from where I am to make a save, and I should in theory be maybe able to, but if he angles that just right with enough power, I'm not getting to that. He can just knock it top bins from here. Yeah, he can shoot that like top corner right over your head. I won't get to that from my position. I won't be able to angle, I don't think, fast enough to stop it from going top bin. Yeah, that's a goal if he hits that exactly how he should. So at this point where you are, fuck, I went past you. Hard attached player view. Where you are, you have to turn up right now. Where you see me, like you see my name tag fading out of existence from behind you right there, you have to turn and challenge that ball right this instant. Otherwise, if he's a better player, that's directly in the net. Like 100%, if he chooses to power shot that, that's in our goal. You turning right there prevents, at the very least, him from like being comfortable doing it the entire time. It cuts down his time. It has to make it allows him to not have so much time to get positioned and angled well enough for the power shot. If you turn right here and gonna get up in his face, he's gonna see that you at this point turn. If I can actually get a view on Apollo here. So here's Apollo's point of view, and he sees you, and if you turn right there, right there and start charging him, he doesn't have all this time to curve around the ball. Now he had all the time in the world to come around. When he landed, he sees you, and he's going, and he sees you, and he doesn't know at this point if you're going to make a challenge. Now is the ideal time for you to challenge, because you can hide yourself behind the ball, and he doesn't know when you're coming. He's going to panic, and he's not going to be able to get positioned as well as he is. He has all this time from you to go from all the way to the right in his view to all the way to the left in his view. Take his time, set up the shot, set up the shot, set up the shot, drift, and power shoot it, because he knows that you're not there, and neither am I, and neither is Ghost. At this point, like, this is your only opportunity to challenge before we get gold on. If he's a good player, if he's in my lobbies, if he's champ, he turns this ball, he power cuts it, and shoots it right anywhere between where he can't see you on the ball anymore because you didn't challenge to when he can see you again on the ball and challenge. He has all this time to set it up and make a decision, instead of, you know, you turning up and challenging to cut off his, you know, train of thought, to cut off his time to set it up. You make him panic, you make him flip it away to Brodock or into the midfield or something like that. But if that guy was, you know, a better player, that's straight in our net. So let me get back to flying mode here. I think I made what I could out of that. Ghost is rotating as he should be. He should be picking up that back boost. I should be making the play that I thought I had to make in the first place, and I did end up having to make it. Put it off at least to the side so it can't be a play made out of it. Ghost is rotating in well. I should be touching that ball and then out, but I think I got bumped. Yeah, I should be touching that ball off to the corner and leaving it. I don't really know. At this point, everything kind of stems from you turning here though, right? So everything kind of stems, the way things happened, from you choosing not to challenge the ball, from you choosing to be passive here. You have to really aggress that ball at that point, realizing the position you and your teammates are in. And because you turned this way, and you see the ball's coming at me, and I know that you're like ready to make the save, but I'm the first person on it. I should at least call that I've got it, or that I'm making a touch. Granted, I don't know that I knew necessarily that I was going to make the touch. Let me see. I don't want to, again, talk out my ass here, but there I am. Okay. I see you off to the side of me. I know that. Okay, so I know at this point. Right. Hang on. You are turning. I do see you sort of like wiggle left and right, so I'm not really sure what you're doing. If you make the call out, I can back off that ball, and then there'd have been plenty of space. Okay, so that's what should happen. Is, again, this is a communication issue with us. Is if you had the call out here, I stopped seeing you right around this way. That little wiggle you did made me unsure as to whether you were, okay, so this is where it looks like you're going to turn and cut in, and then you do that little wiggle right there where you just briefly wiggled in and out, and I stopped seeing you at that point. I wasn't sure if you're going to wiggle back in and try and cut it off. If you have that ball, you got to call it. If you don't have that ball, you need to say, you know, you need to call out that you don't have it. Either way, you should be making a call right there, and I should be making a call also. I should be going, you, question mark, or, you know, me, or you, me, something. I should be saying one of us has it, so like this kind of screws up our rotations. Our miscommunication there, or lack of communication between you and I, me not saying I have it, and you not telling me that you have it, then I am like, okay, at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm closest to it, but I have no idea still if you're cutting in on me. And for a while, I have no idea if you're cutting in on me. Up to this point, I have no idea if you're challenging that whole time. I have no idea if you're going to cut off and we're going to pinch it on accident, or if I'm going to bump you from this point to all the way, still going, all the way to then. I had no idea where you were, so I was trying to just kind of shadow the ball, which puts me in a position where I could have risked it in demo not getting a touch at all, and then, I mean, you would have been there. But then I try to hit it off to the side because that's the only play I can make. Otherwise, I let the ball go towards the net. I get in your way. I bump you. He probably smashes me, demos me, smashes you out of the way. You know, 50s the ball in the net. The only thing I can really do is make a touch. I get bumped, end up clobbering you, and then we're just kind of in a precarious position there. What you should have done here is even if fuck, there we go. Even if you didn't make a call out, just sort of like realize that, fuck me, that I am right. No, I don't want ghost. There we go. That me and your teammates are right on the right. Okay, so at this point you can see me. So if we were communicating, I said I had it, and you knew that you were turning away from it, which you were at this point. Say you don't have it. Say you say something. Give an opportunistic call out. Give me an opportunity to call out back to you to say I have it or don't have it. You come to the back corner and you collect the boost. And really, this is a me and you thing because Ghostly was doing what he should be over there. So at this point in time, this is a me and you situation. You should have been coming back here, collecting this. I should have been able to make the touch up the wall, my soft touch that I was going to make. Or, touch it, and where they're both kind of facing that way, I probably would have tried to cut it and carry it out. But just as effective, I could have made the soft touch up the wall. You could have been rotating in for the boost up, back over our goalpost here, and then Ghostly would have been in position where he is now. Had you done that, had you allowed me to get the soft touch, Ghost could have been watching the play develop. He could have been kind of like just kind of waiting here after he grabbed the boost. He could have been on the back wall here. I could have made the touch up the wall. You could have read it, smacked it up and over. Ghost would have been ready, hit it here, and then we could have continued the 3-man push out that way. That would have been the better way to clear it. I don't know how we ended up in that cluster that we just did. Ghost comes across the net, came across a little too fast. Honestly, Ghost, the only thing you did wrong in this whole sequence so far is just going as fast as you did. At this point in time, you've collected the boost. I know you think it's going to get hit on net, but one of us has touched it. At this point, you should be able to read, or if not, then, again, work on the distance, work on the reading. At this point right here, you should see that one of us hit it and it's no longer angled to go in the net. It's kind of angled off target. And you see that their 2 teammates are off to the left, so that shouldn't be hit anywhere towards our net at this point. So you should have hit the brakes right there and just waited back post. Instead, you kind of come in, you hit that guy, get clobbered. Now it's a big old clusterfuck. And then I should have, after I got bumped, I didn't really have much of a choice but to go sailing into Magic because of the way we were all positioned. I don't know, I think maybe I did the best I could to recover there. Not much to say about that, though. Come in and out off the ceiling the way I was positioned, I kind of fucked up my landing. It definitely could have been a lot cleaner with my landing. Magic carried it out. Ghost, you're good to push up. I should have backed off a little bit, or, called out that I had it if I was going to launch out of the net like that. But I do end up seeing you go ahead of me, so I end up tapping the brakes and just taking it slow. Let the play develop. You're good to get the boost there and cut back out. I should have been waiting middle instead of following up with you. Magic hits it. Ghost should have definitely hit that ball, and then I could have been mid. I see, however, that that's not the case. I back off. I wait for a challenge because I know Magic is already reversed behind me. Go get it! I know that Magic's already reversed behind me. He's headed that way. He's going to get there before me, so I have to make the cut here. And then I know that Ghost is going to rotate, end up behind him. So now that I've made my touch, Magic should become first man, be back on his way out. I don't know why I went for this a second time. Let me see my perspective here. Hi, baby girl. Oh, hey, it's time for you to get your clothes on and go out for the bus.
I know, I have to go to the bus.
Okay, man, you gotta get dressed real fast, though.
Wait, how does my eye look to you?
Oh, wait, you're not going to school today, are you?
Well, that's where I'm.
It looks better. Do you want to go to school? Yeah, alright, well, hurry up then.
Can you give me oranges for snack?
Yes, my love. Alright, let me see, oh shit. Let me see my perspective. Player view, okay. So after I've made my cut, because I see the ball's coming our way and I know that magic is past me, I have time, because this guy's controlling it, to make a pop here. Magic should have been rotating in behind me. I probably should have left it, but I had enough boost to go again. So at the very least, I could have called for it. I don't think that I did. I don't think it was a good call necessarily for me to be going after it the way I just did. But the only thing I can think of is that at this point, after I'd touched it, I still hadn't seen magic in my line of sight. So I figured that I was going to get there before him. And yeah, I think if I'd let him, he could have aerialed at this point up to meet the challenge. It would have been safer to let magic take the aerial probably from here if he had jumped from this point, and if I had just hit the ball and rotated out, because then if he misses, then the ball is just going to go back to me. Or, you know, if I rotate out properly and Ghost is rotating in properly, then I let him go. He calls that he has next. He picks up the pad. I make the decision to land, you know, come back, pick up things, rotate behind Ghost. Ghost could be over here ready for the pickup. If magic misses the aerial from that point, that probably would have been the better play. I think that's probably just a misplay on my part entirely. And then everything sort of fell into position from there. Alright, so I followed up the wall. Ghost, you shouldn't be this far ahead unless you're calling it out, in which case magic should be backing off and not going up for this. Now it's another double commit with a free counter to our side if we miss that. Miraculously, we get the goal though. I was able to catch it. It was a good pass, but bad play. Good outcome, bad play. Alright, now I should be pushing up because I'm closer. Magic should be peeling off for boost probably. Or again, if one of us calls it, then. But yeah, we got the cheat up here. I went too far forward. I should have stayed within the range that I was talking about. I have a bad habit of doing this wave dash. I shouldn't, because that carries me much further. That's like a very ambitious sort of. And that's my problem. It's probably like an ego thing or something, is I have the tendency to sort of push where I shouldn't, because I don't have confidence in the opponents, and now that puts me like in a really awkward spot going all the way out here. Magic's in a good position. And that's the thing is that I was talking about, is you don't want to rotate out like that. You don't want to be where you are like that, Magic, when you are going for the back corner boost like I was talking about earlier. You want to be ready, because if the ball kicks out the way that it absolutely, you know, just did, then you want to be ready to be here and up the wall and receive it. And that's the position you want to be in regardless, because if it punches out this way and goes up the wall, you're still in the back corner receiving the boost, and you can be up the wall, you know, going after it. You got to get used to being up the wall, on the wall, and playing off the wall. So what you should be doing after you get this boost after you get this boost, you should be cutting in, and then if the ball's rotating around that side, you can be back a lot quicker than having to come out and then curve in and then out again, which I think is what you do like a figure eight here. Instead of being like efficient, ready back to it, you come out, you come in, out, and in again. Figure eight. That's so much time off of where you can be positioned and ready and rotated in to receive it. And it's just a lot of like wasted movement. You could have been to that a lot faster, and that kind of turned into an atrocious own goal. You what, baby? Oh, okay. Anyway, let's see this from your perspective and turn my alarm off. So yeah, had you gone back and been a little more flat to the goal here, you would have had your car angled in a way that if you had curved in like I was talking about, you would have had your car instead of angled inward, not being able to see like what's behind you. You would have had your car curved and angled to a way that you could have at least seen this part of the field now. And then you can see, you know, how things are developing. You would have been like nice and tucked in here. You could have seen Apollo was coming, challenged him right there, and it would have been a nice, clean, straight-on 50 instead of an own goal. Let's see what I did wrong, though. Ghost is coming back. There's not much he could have done. Let's see what I did here. Took it up the wall. I shouldn't have done that. What I should have done, again, if I was positioned better and had come and collected it, is I would have been able to ideally grab the boost, cut it down off the wall and out to space. And by space I mean, like, there's a guy coming to meet me on the wall here, because that's really the only option I have left, the fuck, is to come this way and hit it up the wall. Kiara! What are you doing? Okay. But ideally, had I rotated right and not did that stupid little wave dash that I do when I come out here, and then I had the time to collect it, and then what I mean by space is, like, that guy's coming up the wall, and by the time I caught it, like, that Broad guy had momentum going this way, but he made an almost instantaneous decision once he landed to cut. And what I should have been able to do was, at this point where the ball would have been, instead of rolling up there, I would have been able to meet it right about here. After I'd collected the boost, I would have been about in between the boost, edge of the boost and the ball, cut it, collected it, and pushed it past Broad this way into space where there's no players waiting for me. Instead, I caused it to be pinched out to that guy, which caused it to be pinched out to that guy, which inevitably caused it to be pinched out this way. That being said, let's go ahead and check out Magic's perspective one more time. At this point, once, I mean, you still could have, you still should have angled yourself a little better. You should have trusted that. Where did you stop seeing Ghost? You got the boost. Ghost was headed toward mid at this point, so you can't see him the entire time. Ghost should keep that in mind while he's rotating, and where is he? There he is. After your kickoff here, Ghost, land, and yeah, I know you saw that. That guy was, that Kamalad guy was going to get to the boost before you, and that Broduck was probably behind you grabbing boost. But as soon as you land, honestly, just if you do a little camera flick like that, you see he's going to beat you there. Don't continue this way, because this is that split second that you could have used to get back in time, or like on time efficiently. You were already headed this way. You did a little camera flick. You saw that he was going to get there before you, and before your camera had switched over, you saw that Broduck was rotating in behind you. So I guess you probably would assume that he was going for that boost. So what you should have done was just come over here from kickoff and collect the pad. That Broduck guy was probably going to try and demo you, but it's honestly okay. You still wouldn't have been back in time. But you could have collected this pad. You could have been back in this way and rotating in behind Magic, and then, like, at least you would have been little better position. Like, see where my camera is now, how quickly you would have traveled. You would have been, if you were up the wall, at least sort of in saving position. Not a lot there, that's your fault. You kicked off. Just, you know, for efficiency's sake, make yourself a little quicker. I did see your perspective, like I said. You know, you kick off, right? So you see, where's your kickoff here? You see, it looks like that Broduck guy is going for mid boost on your left, and so when you kick off, you take your cam off, and you see that that guy is probably going to pick up your boost before you. Honestly, just like I said, you're already facing right anyways. You'll be a lot quicker where your car is facing more right than it is left to just use power slide, cut right, go right, pick up that pad, and be back. You would have been a little bit closer. Maybe still not able to save it, but you would have been a lot closer. This was honestly just poor from beginning to end positioning on me and Magic's part. Honestly, more so me, because I was the one to do the cheat, and I should have positioned myself appropriately. But, you know, I did not. And Magic should have been able to get this save, at least the block, a little easier. Even how he was positioned, he should have been able to read that it was, he had the jump to the right, and you were cutting in behind him somewhere. He should have at least trusted, and you should have been able to at least call out that you got his, that you were behind him, so that way he knew he had ample time and ample space to not cover all shots, but he could cover from mid target to mid right target, and you could have like pushed him behind and covered the rest. Alright, it's coming towards the end of the game here. So again, poor choices were made. Left goes, right is obviously closer in this situation. Ghost either goes for boost on the left side, or he stays back. I think I called for a fake. Okay, yeah, I must have called for a fake, because I purposely missed it. Because, let's see, I do my speed flip, and then I turn off. Yeah, okay. So I called for a fake. So when I say faking, like if I'm on kickoff, and usually I'll do that as a strategy in the last 30 seconds, is I will push like I'm going for the ball all the way up to about this pad, make the illusion that I'm going to get there, and usually people will, as you can see from the little phantom here, he'll be right about there as I'm right about here. He's trying to get there quicker than I can, and because he's trying to get there quick, he's not going to be like he's not going to be grounded, so it's going to be a pretty low rolling touch, more than likely. But fast, but low rolling. And the faster, honestly, the better when you're doing a fake off like this, if it's a rolling touch, because when I finally peel off here, and I go shoot for boost, and Magic's getting boost over there, and Magic's getting boost over there, you're the one responsible for the fake, because we want it to look like, you know, it's just regular position play. So if I see the kickoff position like this, I'll usually call fake right away from the start of the play before the countdown even finishes, so that way you know where to go. If I call fake, you back up a little bit, wait for it, don't back up too far, don't go past the goal line, back up just a slight amount, maybe collect this pad and then back up, or maybe just collect this pad and wait. But typically, I fear that in my personal circumstances that the ball might get boomed over my head and go in the net, so sometimes I just like drive up a little bit to the tip of my nose, grab the pad, and then I back up slightly in case that happens. And that's the play to make for a fake, is if I call fake, I'll go up the way I just did. I'll purposefully peel off, and then, yeah, don't ever do that if I call fake. That will fuck you all up. And then you should be positioned to push it, bang it. You didn't do a terrible job there. I don't know what the hell I was doing not grabbing the boost here. What the fuck was I doing? Oh, maybe I might have saw Kamaladin thinking I was going to get demoed if he tried to go for the boost, so I probably peeled off here. You got it. I got the right back corner, and everything proceeds decently from here. Not a bad attempt. What, baby?
Do you think we could go out?
Yeah, we're going to have to go out right now because your bus is about to pull up. Alright, so get your socks and shoes on, your coat on, and we'll head out. Alright, so from here, there's not much of the game left. We'll just kind of see how it should have gone. Magic should have been shadowing Ghosts. She should have been up the gut more. I should have been approaching from the left side in case anything went wrong. Magic should have been more centered. Ghost should have been capable of... Once he hit this, the guy missed it. Ghost sees that, It's bouncing, you shouldn't be jumping for this, you should just be driving straight. That way, when you get closer, you can hit the brakes, make a softer touch, it will probably roll up the wall. If not, you know, it'll bounce a lot less severe than it did, and sort of in the direction. Then Magic should have been a little more center, ready to receive, and I would have been back left. In case of anything happening. That was a little bad positioning by all of us, to be honest. We tried to make a little bit of a play here. Well, that didn't happen. Magic retreated as he should be. Ghost, you should be turning, you should be headed back, Ghost. Magic, you should be cutting this at this point. Right after you saw it punch out, right here, you should have been turning back. You should have been turning back immediately as soon as you saw it punch out like that. You weren't going to get to that. No way you could have made a valuable play on that ball. You should have been either turning left here and straight back, or just straight back this way and out. And I should have been going up for it. I honestly could have probably scored that if I was positioned better and aerialed. You should have been going back. You should already be back to midfield, a little behind me, back here-ish. And then Ghost should be either headed back or calling that he's cutting in. At this point, though, where you should have been further back, I would say probably that it should have been Ghost that it was cutting in after I made the play on the ball. So yeah, Magic, you should have been retreating back to net because you would have been the first one to be able to get back to net, and Ghost should have been cutting in, or one of you should have been like headed back and calling it. But the ideal play would have been to keep an eye on your teammates. Magic was already the further one back. He should have been headed back, and then Ghost should have been making the cut for, you know, since it's like a last minute sort of play we're attempting to happen here. And then Magic, from this point, you didn't end up doing that. Instead, the cut should have been that you came back again, like I said, and then Ghost could have like pushed. You guys should have been paying attention to each other, communicating, because now you're both caught up in the same play here, and I've already committed to try and making a play. And now you're both bailing out on the play because you were both caught up with each other. So communication is key. You're both, we're all three in the wrong, but in that instance, you both were in the wrong there, and you really got to work on the communications of that. Ghost should have been at least positioned here after you peeled off, you know, at least somewhere near here. And now we're all kind of scrambling last-minute things to try and make something happen. I should have been able to nail that shot. I didn't because I suck. Improvements all around. Improvements all around. I gotta bring my daughter out to the bus, but yeah, that's really all I have for this video. There are 6 other replay analyses I can do, but this one took forever. I'm tired because I was in the middle of the night and I haven't exactly gotten a lot of space to myself trying to do it, so I'm gonna work on those a whole other time.